Amazon Twitter war, which it kind of has to do with both. You put them on separate pages. I'm going to try to do this with page 2 and page 4. So on one end, Amazon right now, union vote is bigger than Amazon, okay? Why the Amazon union vote is bigger than Amazon? The Verge article says, for the last 7 weeks, workers at the Amazon warehouse in Bessemer, Alabama have been voting by mail on whether to unionize. If the union wins, the warehouse employees would become the first members of Amazon's U.S. workforce to unionize, a momentous event at a company that has long aggressively resisted labor organizing, and that one that could be the first step toward improving conditions at the country's second largest employer. Employees say Amazon's demanding and automatically enforced productivity metrics average rate at the workers perform a task. Okay, productivity metrics makes work grueling, stressful, and dehumanizing. Amazon tracks 2 metrics: the average rate at which workers perform a task called takt time, and how much time they spend not scanning items called time off task. If workers fail to maintain a fast pace, they get reprimanded or fired. Amazon's the second largest employer with 800,000 employees, 6,000 warehouse employees. Tom, thoughts?
You know, isn't that interesting? We're talking about the military going softer on their recruits, and here in Amazon,
what a great point.
You know, it's everywhere in this country. It's unbelievable. This is probably the one and only thing that keeps Jeff Bezos up at night, because is this going to be a domino effect if one of them unionizes? And it's the last thing that they could possibly want. Now, the people that are pushing pro-union, and man, this thing's, if you really followed this, just the marketing and the advertising on both sides, because there's a lot of these employees that don't want to unionize. They're going to have to pay dues, right? And some of the things that Amazon offers that you would think a union would eventually get for you, $15 to start and automatic benefits right as soon as you start. So if it's such a horrible place to work, why do they employ so many people? How come more people aren't quitting or just not going for the job? The vote's we're not going to know until the very end of the week. And the other thing that they keep trying to push is some of these weird stories about how employees can't take a bathroom break and they have to pee in a water bottle. I don't believe that. I think that's a bunch of BS. I don't think that is happening. It may have happened one time and they take it and run with it. You know, I worked for UPS for one summer when I was in high school. That was one tough job, and it was in the union. You know, that was unionized at the time. I wasn't in the union, but I could just sense that whole union attitude, right? And some of my TV jobs, the stations was unionized. So it's a totally different world. This is so anti-Bezos, anti-Amazon. I think it will be a complete disaster if the union vote passes. You know, when I was at the TV station, like, you couldn't edit a story at a certain time if the editor was on break. You know, all these mandated break times they had to take, or a smoke break, or you couldn't do this. You couldn't put something on the set because someone on the union had to actually put that piece of paper or hand you a pen. So I don't think it's going to pass. I think Amazon is too powerful. There's no way they're going to allow this. This is just going to be a huge Pandora's box that would open if it did pass. So it's something to really keep an eye on. And I think we might know by the end of the week how this thing goes.
So let me give you a different perspective on our friend Amazon here.
Here we go.
I actually went down a rabbit hole of research to figure out, like, why do people join unions? What are the pros? What are the cons? What's going on? Who's back in the unions? Who's not back in the unions? And if I'm looking at this and I'm in Alabama and I'm thinking, should I be a part of a union? Should I not be a part of the union? What are the pros? What are the cons? All right, cool. So what are the cons? All right, there's costs, there's dues that we talked about. You got to put in time, and you got to be a part of this union. You got to be a part of activities. All right, cool. What are the pros? Well, first and foremost, if you're a member of a union, you make members of a union make 82% of what a union members make. Okay, 82%. When it comes to retirement and planning for retirement, if you're a part of a labor union, 93% have retirement benefits versus 64% versus non-union. Okay, so the math is like, all right, looking like a union would be good. Let's not forget, what is about 100 years ago when the
Ford
and the Industrial Revolution was coming to America and everything, working conditions were ridiculous. You were working 15-hour days. They had no...
Let's not compare the two. The average hours we worked in that time was 69 hours a week.
Okay.
That's the... We're at 37, 38 hours a week right now.
All right.
Really?
It's
Less
not
than
even
40?
We're working less than 40 hours a week.
Okay. And we're going less with it. We're working from home.
You cannot even compare the two together. But I get what you're doing.
Good.
Keep
It was
going.
a disaster.
I agree. I don't disagree with that.
Kai is figuring out a way how to do a 4-hour work week every single day. He's reading that book. But when it comes to sick leave, maternity leave, hourly wages, benefits, retirement packages, pensions, there's a lot of pros being a part of a union. I think that they're going to actually come to their senses in Alabama and vote to become a part of the union. And here's the biggest thing. Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world. Okay? Amazon has a what? $1.5 trillion market cap, if not true $2 trillion approaching.
Sure.
These workers are making Amazon the wealthiest company potentially in the history of the universe. Certainly Jeff Bezos.
The workers are.
The workers are.
Oh, it's not the vision of the
Of course
Amazon
it is.
and the
there's
idea that he created these jobs.
Thank you for setting me up. There's enough money to go around that
who dictates
the
that?
workers can get their
that?
fair share.
Who dictates
Bernie
that?
Sosnick over here.
Okay,
does.
That's
so
right.
so that's Bernie Sanders' argument, right? So
I'm not saying that's Bernie
but wait a
Sanders.
minute.
I'm stating facts here.
Okay,
You're saying
you're stating
distribute the
facts.
wealth.
No problem. How about this? How about the fact that Bernie Sanders pays? Where's Bernie Sanders at? What state is he at?
He's
New
in
Hampshire.
Vermont.
Vermont, right. New
What's
Hampshire.
Vermont's minimum wage? $11.75.
And it's on its way up.
No. I don't think you heard what I just said.
Yeah.
Vermont
Yes.
is at $11.75 and Amazon's at $15.
Okay.
Who the hell are you to tell others what to do when you ain't doing it to your own state?
The hourly wage is like the
No,
most
you didn't hear
irrelevant
what I
thing
just.
to- I
no,
hear you
but,
that.
but no. What I'm trying to say to you is all the unfair bullshit that's being thrown around is being thrown around by a guy that doesn't even pay his people what the minimum wage is imposing on others. This is the biggest hypocrite in America today. You want him to pay $15, he's doing it. You're doing $11.75 at Vermont. Who the hell are you? I'm sorry, where's the scrutiny with you? Answer that damn question.
But what does Bernie have to do with
Because this is all started by Bernie.
the
All of
Twitter
this
war.
is Bernie. All of the union is Bernie. Everything about this is Bernie.
I don't
Now,
know.
let me-
I don't know why you're so heated. I'm feeling the burn right now.
No,
Okay?
I'm not heated at you. I'm heated
I know,
at Bernie.
I
I'm not
know,
heated
I
at you.
know, I
You're
know.
not.
Obviously.
What I'm trying to tell you is the following. So
I just
look,
wanted to say feel the
let
burn.
me give the feeling about
Yes.
this with Bezos. This is Bezos' problem. Let's identify Bezos. Bezos votes Democrat with the government, but Republican with the way he runs his company. Make up your damn mind,
Yeah, no
Bezos,
kidding.
who you are, okay? Are you a Democrat or Republican? Or is it just you vote the way that goes into your pocket and regulation? Here's the other part you got to be thinking about. Do you know who is the vice president of global affairs for Amazon? Do you know who it is?
Is that DJ Jazzy Jeff?
No.
Jazzy?
Do you actually know who it is? No. Do you know who it is since 2015? Do you know a guy named Jay Carney? Who's Jay Carney?
From the Carney?
Who's Jay Carney? Can you pull up who Jay Carney is? You're about to flip out. Pull up who Jay Carney is.
Okay.
You're about to flip out who Jay Carney is. The moment I pull it up, look at the reaction with the face. Who is Jay Carney? Put up
he
images.
was the former
He is the
press
former
secretary.
press
Yeah.
secretary to Barack Obama, but
remember
he
this
has
guy.
now been the VP. Click on his
images?
Wikipedia. Click on his Wikipedia. Everybody knows who this guy is. Look at the last sentence at the top. Go all the way to the top where you were at. Last sentence. Carney has been Senior Vice President of Global Commerce at Amazon since March 2015. He oversees public policy and public relations for Amazon business around the world and reports as CEO and founder Jeff Bezos. This guy reported to Obama. Now he reports to Jeff Bezos.
Regulation.
So let me get this straight, Bezos. What are we doing here?
Can I pull up images?
So the challenge for the people that don't know who this guy is, this guy was on TV every single day. You know that
Yeah.
face under Obama. So Bezos goes and hires him. So this is not just a level of accountability to one side and not the other side. If you think about what Bezos is doing, as you start making more money, the problem becomes the following. Here's the problem. I'm leading these different groups. These CEOs are asking me to do these groups because they want some kind of an advisory board. So I'll sit down and I'll go through. And the smaller groups we do are elite monthly webinar. They're 90 minutes with me. It's only 7. I do one that's a bigger one, but I do these others that is only 7 of them, and I sit on their board. Great. And we process issues together. We just kind of go through and we process issues together. What do you do with this? What do you do with that? What direction do we go with this? How about this? How about that? One of the guys I was talking to, he had bad relationship with his employees, and he kept having bad relation with his employees. And I said, let me ask you a question. Why do you have such a bad relation with your employees? Yourself. Why do you keep having these problems? I said, how often do you even go and talk to them and ask them about their dreams? How often do you go speak to your people on your team? How often do they see you? Oh, no, that's not what I do. That's somebody else's job. I said, okay. You ever read the book Lincoln on Leadership? No. I gave the assignment of him reading Lincoln on Leadership. You know what's one of the rules on Lincoln on Leadership? Circulate amongst your troops. Something both Bezos and Biden would benefit with. Biden and Kamala Harris still haven't gone to the border. For what? I have no idea why they haven't gone to the border. You're giving your opinion on what should happen without you going and taking the lead because you don't want to go out there. Why are you not going out? Trump would have been out there in a heartbeat. Clinton would have been out there in a heartbeat. These guys would have been out there in a heartbeat. How come you're not out? Bush went tonight in a heartbeat. How come you're not out there? How come you're not going looking at this? Bezos, how come you're not going out there and finding out the pain that they're going through? Realize this, as you become bigger, a lot of times the challenge, and I've seen this with folks who you go from, 50,000 to 6 figures. The 6-figure guy cannot have the same kind of relationship. Then you go to $250,000, $500,000, million, all this other stuff. Then it's like, let me tell you who I am. So you can't have the regular conversations, right? One of the biggest things when my friends call me from 20 years ago, they say, dude, you still joke. I'm like, dude, I'm just richer. That's the only difference. I'm still the same guy. I've just read 2,000 more books. My mind is a little bit more different. I'm not as naive as I was as an 18-year-old kid, but I still like jokes. I still like a good prank. Bezos has to realize, pay your guys fairly, okay? Go give the benefit program. If they're asking for retirement, give it to them. Set some criteria. Say we don't do it if you've been here for 90 days or 6 months. Create a criteria. FYI, if union gets involved with Amazon, you know who takes the biggest pain? Customers.
Yeah,
that's who does.
Yeah, the stuff's not showing up the next day.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, sorry, we'll get to it next day. Yeah. And like, dude, why you ever talk to some company employees? Like the other day, I'm on the phone with this bank. It's a big bank. I wish I could say the name. I don't know what the bank, U.S. Bank. And this one lady, I'm like, ma'am, I'm asking you basic questions. Why can't you answer these questions? You know what, sir? I really don't have time for this. Jen's sitting right next to me. Hang up.
She hung up on you?
I called back. I'm like, did you guys record who I spoke to last? No, we don't have that. So how is that person held accountable? The accountability goes away, and people can get away without giving the right customer service. Then that spreads. I just talked about it right now. It's customer. I deal with as a company that I have to get these, hey, this person said this about you. Well, maybe we ought to get better at customer service. Maybe we ought to figure out a way to get better at this stuff. Maybe we ought to pay a little bit more attention. Maybe we ought to make that additional phone call. They say you don't have time to call until Monday. Call the person, hear them out. Why are they upset at you? What did you do? Maybe we did something wrong. This whole thing about, wrote a letter, a 3,200-word letter to my one of the people, you and I were talking about it. You know what I said? I said, as a school gets bigger, I hope you guys are not an elitist organization where it's an honor for others to work for your company versus it is an honor to have people who are willing to say yes to work with your company. I understand what it is for me to have a resume where I say I worked at Netflix. I worked at Amazon. There's a certain prestige to it. But guess what? People have 50 other places they can work at as well, and they chose to work with you. So there's a balance here that's going on that Bezos has to sit there and realize, brother, just give benefits with criterias and good kudos to him for giving $15 minimum wage. Something our legendary socialist guy who loves Russia in Vermont hasn't been able to do, and he's been there for how many years? 40 years? You can't even raise the minimum wage from $11.75 to $15, and you're bashing everybody else? Good for Bezos. Bezos goes a little bit more. Take all this stuff out. But he ain't playing around. He's got the right people in his corner to want to fight against all these things that people are doing,
right?
Especially a guy like Jay Carney.
Why would Bezos be so anti-union? Why wouldn't he concede a little bit?
Adam,
and you said
it's not. I didn't say. Everything I said was do it without union. Union will change the culture of Amazon. It will be felt.
Yeah. Here's the other problem that's happening right now is there's going to be such a feeling of division inside those fulfillment centers and throughout the whole company. I can only imagine, it's an us versus them mentality in there. And then you got pro-union workers. It's almost like Republican, Democrat. It's probably a cancer that's starting amongst the rank and file of Amazon. That's going to be a huge, huge problem for him. And, I mean, there's no way you could identify what Bezos really believes. He owns the Washington Post, right? You'd think the Washington Post would be front and center trying to get this place unionized and having huge stories about that all the time. And that's true, too. Everybody that's saying that they should unionize this and that are the same people that want those packages delivered the very next day, right? So you can't have it both ways. And I am not convinced that union officials truly have the best interests in mind of those factory workers or people that drive the forklift or the drivers. Here's the other thing, too. You constantly see Amazon vans out there, right? I mean, this is such a phenomenon that wasn't there 2-3 years ago.
Right.
The Amazon vans are everywhere. How else would the packages arrive? These guys, to me, now this is just my observation, they never seem stressed. they have a sense of urgency, but I'm not seeing these guys looking like they're all frazzled or anything like that. And maybe there's some Amazon drivers that are watching this and can tell me something else. Sometimes I see FedEx guys and they seem a little bit more nervous, not under control, or same thing with UPS. I'm not seeing this from these Amazon employees. And if it's so horrible, why don't they quit? Something's keeping them there. Probably that's that starting wage of $15 and the benefits. The benefits is the big hook for Amazon, and they make that available for everybody on their very first day. Bezos is going to win this. He wins everything. There's no way that place is going to unionize.
You don't think that place is going to unionize?
I don't think so. I don't think they'll be successful.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with you there, because the last decade has been a streak of a lot of great ideas not winning. The last decade has been a streak of a lot of bad ideas winning. The last decade has been a streak of a lot of anybody that cries me a river has been winning. A lot of people that should have performed and had a job lost. There's a guy comes out with a shoe that's got a blood in it, confirmed with NBC that there is the employee's blood in the shoe.
Right.
Little Nas X, this shoe that he comes out and called Luke 10:18 out of the Bible scripture that he uses, that shoe doesn't get canceled.
Right.
But a guy who gives his opinion on Merkel gets canceled. Piers Morgan gets canceled. Kevin Hart gets canceled. All these other people, just because they have an opinion, they get canceled. And all these other bad ideas, unfortunately, are not getting canceled. People have to wake up and realize that this cancel culture is canceling the wrong things. And if I'm a betting man, who do you think wins? You think Bezos, Carney, and the $1 trillion, $2 trillion company wins? Or do you think AOC, Bernie Sanders, Ilham Omar, or you think those guys, who do you think, Elizabeth Warren, who do you think is going to end up winning in a situation like, Bernie went to Alabama and sat down. One of the things you got to applaud Bernie. Here's the one thing that Bernie does that Biden. The thing that I respect more about Bernie, take Bernie's philosophies out. Take all of his philosophies out. Take all of my philosophies out. I have more respect for Bernie's dogfight than Biden's dogfight.
Because you know what you're getting from him. And
Bernie is a fighter. But how old is Bernie? How old is Bernie today? Can you actually pull up Bernie's age versus Biden? I'm actually curious to know, how old is Bernie Sanders?
I'm going with 78.
Are you saying that he went to Alabama?
He went 79. To Alabama.
He may have just gone out to his porch to get the newspaper and got lost and ended up in Alabama.
The point is, a 79-year-old man went to Alabama, but a 78-year-old president cannot go to the border to see what's happening over there.
Yeah.
So you got to give respect to, but you also cannot undermine the fact that these guys got power today.
Yeah,
Bezos cannot sit there saying, they're going to win this no matter what because he's Bezos. I don't think that's the case.
Two things. Let's look at some point. We don't have to do it now, but I wonder what Bernie's net worth is. That guy sells a lot of books. He's not poor, okay? He's probably a millionaire.
Definitely not poor.
And,
hey, he better be a freaking millionaire. 79 years old.
Okay, and last
Make
thing.
50 grand for the last
here's a prediction,
40 years.
And here's why I think
I would have more respect with him if he's a multimillionaire versus if he was still poor.
Okay,
like, you're 79 years old. Save your damn money. What are you talking about?
I have no respect for him at all. Hey, 5,000 employees.
He loves you, though, Tom.
5,000 employees in Alabama, right? What's stopping Amazon to going to 2,600 of them and paying them money to vote no on the union? They've been working on this thing for months.
You can't.
But could you still do it?
You could do it. But if you do that, then the media wins because they're going to say, look exactly what they did. It would be a big old publicity stunt. They would get destroyed if they ever did that.
Covertly.
No,
somehow
there is no
subtly implied.
Amazon can officially not do anything covertly. Amazon can no longer do nothing covertly, period. You got the lenses like this. All eyes on Amazon.
Scrutiny. We talked about it yesterday.
At the highest level. So if you enjoyed this little short segment from the podcast that we did, here's another short segment to watch. Or if you want to see the entire podcast, click over here. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.